Hey, what's going on, everyone? What's up, folks? It's Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. And as usual, every Wednesday, I'm right here live, 11 a.m. Eastern Time Zone, to help you folks out with job search tips, advice, strategies to help you and move you along your job search. And don't be shy. Feel free to introduce yourself in the comments as usual. Let me know who you are, where you're tuning in from. And also feel free to start dropping your job search questions in the comments, folks. That's why I'm here. That's why I do this every week. I spend anywhere between like half an hour to 1 hour talking about various job search tips and advice. So today, what I'm going to be speaking about today is LinkedIn tips for job seekers. All right. Obviously, I think most of you tuning in are tuning in from LinkedIn. So I'm going to be talking about, and I've written down how many tips is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 tips. I got 5 tips for you today on how to effectively leverage LinkedIn as part of your job search, right? Everyone talks about LinkedIn. Oh, LinkedIn is amazing. LinkedIn is like, it's such an amazing platform and blah, blah, blah. And Microsoft bought LinkedIn and like a whole bunch of stuff going on. But some of you are left wondering, like, dude, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm not getting any traction in my link as part of my job search strategy. How do I use LinkedIn, Dean? Right. So that's what I hope to be sharing with you folks today. And I hope I'm able to share some tips that should help you out because you should be leveraging LinkedIn as part of your job search, right? As part of your job search strategy. Right now, I'm not saying, don't put all of your hopes on LinkedIn. Like, this should be one part of your job search strategy. All right. That's the most important point. But if you're going to be using it, you got to be using it the right way. You got to get your mind right about how you can use LinkedIn, right? Because it's not for most of us, myself included, success on LinkedIn is not like some overnight thing, folks. All right. And I'm going to be talking about that shortly. But let's see here. We got some comments coming through. We got Raphael in the house all the way from Georgia. Good to see you here, Raphael. Good to have you here, my friend. And hope you're able to get some value out of today's session and appreciate having you on board. We got Sweta in the house. Hey, can't wait. Good to see you here, Sweta. Hope you're doing great. And thanks so much for tuning in. Now, before I get into the segment, again, quick reminder, make sure you mark your calendars. I'm here every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time Zone. So if you're a job seeker, make sure you mark your calendar and tune in right here every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time Zone. Also, do me a quick favor. Make sure you like, comment, and share if you feel that especially today's specific topic will benefit anyone in your network. And if you want to follow me on all my social channels, and by the way, quick shout out to everyone tuning in right now live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. But if you want to follow me on all my social channels, check out my Linktree page. That's linktr.ee/DK Tech Recruiter. That's linktr.ee/DK Tech Recruiter. All my social links are there, so make sure you check me out on there. Also, if you're active on LinkedIn, make sure you subscribe to my LinkedIn newsletter. I have a new edition released every week on Mondays. Mondays typically during the afternoon. And I talk about a recruitment-related topic that's more so for hiring managers and hiring teams. And I also cover a job search topic as well, more so for the majority of you folks tuning in on today's session, which is the job seekers. And I also share like information about events I might be speaking at and where you might be able to meet up with me in person. And by the way, speaking of meeting up in person, I'm attending an event tonight. Like, it's going to be in the downtown Toronto area. It's called Canada's Appeal on the Global Stage. It's being organized by Canadian Business Magazine. And no, I'm not a speaker. Okay, I'm just going to be there as an attendee. But there's a networking portion. It's in the I think it's called the C5 Lounge at the Royal Ontario Museum. So if any of you watching happen to be going to that event tonight, don't be a stranger. If you see me around, just flag me down. Say, hey, what's up, Dean? I follow you on LinkedIn, or I see your live stream, whatever it is. Don't be a stranger. Don't be shy. If you're going to that event tonight, I'll see you there. Apparently, there's a networking portion for that event. But I'm really looking forward to listening to the speakers there, because they're going to be talking about, hey, how is Canada going to compete on today's global stage, right? With so much competition for talent and a whole bunch of stuff. And there's going to be some great speakers. So I'm looking forward to being there and learning myself as an attendee. But yeah, there's a networking portion. So if any of you folks happen to be attending that event, if you see me, give me a high five. All right, give me a high five. If you're not comfortable with high fives just yet, do a peace sign or something like that. All right. So, but if you're going to be there, I look forward to seeing you there. Now, today's stream, as usual, is sponsored by Tech Recruiters 360, which is my IT recruitment business. So if you're an organization anywhere in Canada, you're an IT professional anywhere in Canada, you're a hiring team looking for tech talent, you're an IT professional looking for your next gig, definitely make sure you reach out to me for more information on how I can help you. I specialize in recruiting across the board for IT, various industries, various types of organizations, ranging from startups all the way to large-size multinational companies, and roles ranging from software developers, business analysts, project managers, program managers, systems administrators, network administrators, and everything in between. But those would probably be the most frequent types of roles that I've recruited on. On the infrastructure operations side, help desk analysts, service desk analysts. What else? Like a whole pretty much, folks. I mean, anything pretty much, unless it's very, very very, very specific and niche. I mean, outside of that, I've recruited across the board for IT. All right. So either way, whatever your situation, feel free to reach out and I'll do my best to see if there's any way I can assist you. Today's stream is also sponsored by DK Global Talent, which is my training business, where I've created the course Applying to Jobs Online 101, where I teach job seekers a 3-step process for how to stand out when you're applying for your jobs, and through the use of direct messaging. Right. It's a digital course. You can complete the course probably within 3 hours. It is a paid course. If you want more information about it, check out the website. It's at dkglobaltalent.com/get responses, dkglobaltalent.com/get responses. If you have any questions about that, feel free to let me know as well. All right. So that being said, let's get into today's topic. I think we got a couple of more comments here. We got Sweta says, yes, LinkedIn is a gold mine, and I use it as a job seeker, hiring manager, now as a consultant. Absolutely, Sweta. It's a great platform, right? It's a great platform if you're using it the right way. And then clearly, folks, Sweta is someone that's definitely using the platform in the right way as well. If you're a job seeker, she's also someone you might want to check out. And also we got Rajya Lakshmi. Sorry, I'm so sorry that I'm fumbling up the name here, but so Rajya Lakshmi, thanks so much for tuning in Canada. Always love to see my fellow Canadians in the house. So that being said, in the meantime, I'm going to start speaking about today's topic. But in the meantime, any questions you folks have, whether it's about how to use LinkedIn or anything job search related, feel free to drop it in the comments. I will get to your questions in the in the Q&A part of the segment. All right. So LinkedIn, how can you as a job seeker leverage LinkedIn as part of your job search? So I have about 5 tips here on how to use LinkedIn effectively for your job search. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is no empty profiles. All right. No empty profiles, folks. Now, I know not all of you are making this mistake, but I can't tell you how many times during the week I have IT professionals, job seekers reaching out to me. They're like, Dean, hey, I need your help. Or, hey, Dean, do you have any IT opportunities that you're recruiting on right now? And blah, blah, blah. Here's my resume and all that stuff. And the first thing I'm going to do, and folks, by the way, this is not just me. Anyone you contact on LinkedIn, especially if it's a recruiter or a hiring manager, do not assume they're going to download your resume. Okay. Even if you're attaching your resume, do not assume the first thing they're going to do is download your resume. The first thing every single recruiter and most hiring managers are going to do, folks, they're going to go to your LinkedIn profile. Now, what's going to happen if you have an empty LinkedIn profile? I mean, that's a lost opportunity right there, right? Or you haven't put in the effort to fill out your LinkedIn profile, especially if you're coming from a field or you're in a position that is, it's not a hard to find position. It's not a hard to find skill set. Don't assume that they're going to actually then go to your, they're going to be like, oh, okay, they're not filled out there. They haven't filled out their LinkedIn profile. So let me just download the resume. No, don't make that assumption, folks. Always assume that you only have a couple of seconds to get someone's attention. And the first thing they're going to do is they're going to visit your LinkedIn profile. So that is tip number one. No empty profiles. Again, if someone's visiting your profile, you only have a couple of seconds to really get their attention. And if it's empty, that's a lost opportunity right there. And frankly, for those of you who are not filling in your LinkedIn profiles, I mean, you might as well not be on LinkedIn at all, right? Especially if you're a job seeker, especially if you're actively hunting for work right now. No excuses, folks. No excuses whatsoever. At the very least, you can literally copy and paste your resume content into your LinkedIn profile. I mean, for those of you who might be like, oh, Dean, it's so much work to fill in my LinkedIn profile and I got to do everything. Okay, fine, fair enough. Literally copy and paste your resume into your LinkedIn profile. Like worst case scenario, you should be able to do at least that, folks. No excuses, right? Because if I, as a recruiter, if you're going to send me a message, you're like, hey, Dean, I'm a I don't know, project manager. I'm on the market for new opportunities. Here's my resume attached. Can you please let me know if you have any matching opportunities? Blah, 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 whatever. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to your LinkedIn profile, folks. And if your LinkedIn profile does not capture my attention, I'm going to focus on whatever it is I was focusing on before I read your message. That's the reality, all right? That's the reality of the situation. I do not have time, and most recruiters out there do not have time, and most hiring managers do not have time to play Sherlock Holmes and try to figure out what it is about you that really stands out. Now, for those of you thinking, well, Dean, aren't recruiters supposed to look over resumes and aren't hiring managers supposed to look at resumes? Yeah, absolutely, folks. But here's the thing, and this is the case with most human beings out there. We tend to move towards the path of least resistance. All right. So me having to download a resume and doing that multiple times for every damn message I get on LinkedIn, click on the file, save as, download, then open up the file, open up the resume. And I mean, it's just way easier to simply visit your LinkedIn profile, right? So if you're going to be on LinkedIn, if you're going to be messaging people on LinkedIn, no excuses, folks. You have to have your LinkedIn profile filled out, detailed. Now, when I say filled out, don't just think that I mean, oh, okay, I was software developer at this company, and you put the title, you put the years, and then you go to the next position, you put the title, you put the years, and then you leave the description empty. That's not helpful either. Like, you should be filling in the description for each position you worked at. And the other added benefit for this is it makes your it's not just a matter of, hey, this looks impressive. Wow, look at what they did at each of these positions. It's not just that. It also helps make your LinkedIn profile more keyword rich. Okay, keyword richness is very, very important for your LinkedIn profile, because recruiters, when recruiters are conducting our search, when we're conducting our search on LinkedIn, we're primarily finding people through what's called a keyword search, right? That means typing in various keywords in relation to your field or your skill set. And then that's how profiles are coming up in the search results, right? So for example, let's say you're a software developer with, and you have experience with JavaScript, and maybe you've done, and maybe, so I'm looking for a software developer with JavaScript experience, and who has worked, for example, let's say in the construction industry. So when I'm putting my search string, my keyword search string is going to be software developer, JavaScript, construction. Like that's probably what my main keywords are going to be. And when I hit enter, it's going to pull up candidates who have these things highlighted on their profile, because that's what those profiles are more keyword rich. They're more relevant to the keywords that were entered, right? So if you're in that situation, like you're a software developer, you're a JavaScript developer, and you've done work in the construction industry, and you've listed those in detail on your LinkedIn profile, guess what? There's a high chance that your profile is going to show up in the search results. Now, guess what else as well? If your profile is empty, if all you're doing is the bare minimum, and you're not talking about those construction related software applications you developed or whatnot, it's not going to show up, folks. It's not going to show up. So this is why it's so important to also enter in the description part for each position that you worked at on your LinkedIn profile. So it's not just about your title, not just about putting your dates, what dates you worked there. And you got to fill in the description, what you did for each position. And again, this doesn't have to be anything fancy at all. Like worst case scenario, like I said, literally copy and paste what's on your resume onto your LinkedIn profile, because that keyword richness is what's going to make it easy to find. Not just easy to find, but also easy for me as a recruiter to gather information about who you are, what you did, what you accomplished. at each of your recent or current and past positions as well, right? And that's what's going to then motivate me to get back to your message and be like, hey, at least now I have something. I saw something on your LinkedIn profile. I'm like, okay, I like what I see. Listen, let me get on a phone call with this individual, right? That's what's going to motivate me to get on a phone call or actually download your resume and take it a step further, right? But it all starts with your LinkedIn profile, especially, and this is 100% especially the case if you're messaging people on LinkedIn. Always assume that people are not going to download your resume. Even if you attach your resume, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to visit your LinkedIn profile. And if your LinkedIn profile is empty, thumbs down from me, folks. Thumbs down from Dean. All right. I know Dean's supposed to be your friend, but hey, thumbs down. If you got an empty LinkedIn profile, thumbs down to you, folks. Okay. No excuses. Fill in those LinkedIn profiles. All right. So after this session, homework for you, like what you folks got to do right away is fill in those details, fill in your LinkedIn profile. And that's going to help you it's going to be way more helpful for you than just being a simple. You might as well not be on LinkedIn. All right. So that is the first thing. And tip number 2 is, and I kind of already covered this, but you want to highlight those projects, those key projects that you've completed, key projects that you are part of. Also mention any specific industries that you worked in, also on your LinkedIn profile, because these are also some other key areas that recruiters are looking for when they're conducting their search on LinkedIn. In fact, it pretty much comes down to, I'd say, 3 major things. All right. Major thing number 1, and this is 100% of the time, is simply your skills. Right. Recruiters are always going to be looking for skills. And when I say skills, I recruit in IT, so it's going to be technical skills for the most part. Like those are things you want to highlight on your LinkedIn profile, right? JavaScript, Java, .NET, C Sharp, maybe I don't know, some other form of technology that you worked on as a software developer. If you're a business analyst, if you're a project manager, more of the non-technical roles. Then what you want to mention is skills related to those fields: stakeholder management, change management, anything related to your core skills as a business analyst or a project manager, or whatever area you're applying for in terms of the role. Like these are the number 1 things the recruiter is going to be looking for. 100% of the time, they're going to be looking for skills. Number 2 thing is types of projects. All right, are there particular types of projects that you kind of specialized in, that you worked on? For example, you were, as a software developer, you coded a lot of CRM applications, or a lot of ERP related projects that you were part of. Specific types of projects, right? This might not be the case all the time, but it's always good to mention these things on your LinkedIn profile, because again, this is what's going to really capture attention from the recruiter, right? The third area is types of industries. What types of industries you were working at? You want to actually highlight this and mention this in your about section, as well as maybe mention them in the description for each position you worked at, especially if you're working at a consulting company and you did multiple projects for multiple types of industries, right? So for example, maybe you did projects in the construction industry, real estate industry, what else? E-commerce, retail, blah, 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 etc. You get the point, right? Skills, 100% of the time, they're going to be looking for skills. In some cases, they're going to be looking for specific types of projects. And in some cases, they're going to be looking for industry-specific experience as well. So you got to be making sure that you highlight these areas on your LinkedIn profile. So we got some questions here. We got Raphael says, great tip. I was wondering about that. If I should just copy and paste my resume, but I was thinking that would take away from what they're going to see on your resume. But this is a better way to look at it. Thanks, Dean. Yeah. So Raphael, I kind of threw that out there, Raphael, just because there's some people out there that are so. They're always, some people out there, they're like, oh, Dean, I'm so busy. I don't have time for my LinkedIn profile. And, I don't have time to sit around and, enter that stuff. I'm busy. Dean, I'm currently employed. I don't have time for this. So I'm kind of speaking to those people out there, Raphael, who are in that kind of a situation and that kind of attitude. Like, worst case scenario, just copy and paste your resume. But if not, you might not want to. It's always good to put in some specialized effort into your LinkedIn profile and make it more unique than your resume. But what I'm trying to say here is, hey, worst case scenario, no excuses, right? No excuses. You can literally copy and paste your resume onto your LinkedIn profile as a worst case scenario, right? So I just want to clarify that, Raphael. So thanks for your comment. And by the way, Raphael, I really appreciate your interactions with me this week and last week. I want to hook you up with my PDF. It's a free PDF. how to run recruiters through your resume. It's a script. I actually have a sample script on how you should be running recruiters through your resume. So just send me a message after the stream, just in case I forget. Just remind me, and I'll hook you up with that PDF. All right. So I really appreciate your interactions, Rafael. Hina says, nice tip. How to fill a gap if we have in IT in the past in LinkedIn profile. So Hina, I'm having difficulty understanding your question. Maybe you can rephrase that. So you're asking how to fill a gap if we have in IT a gap. Maybe you're asking how to fill a gap we have in IT in the past on your LinkedIn profile. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're. So if you can maybe clarify that question, Hina, I'm happy to answer your question. All right. So that being said, I will keep going with today's topic. But Hina, clarify that question in the comments, and I will respond to your question. All right. So that was the next tip, was highlighting the relevant stuff. Okay, skills, projects, industry types. All right, those things you got to highlight on your LinkedIn profile. Now, third tip. Now, folks, this is probably I should have mentioned this tip as number one. Now that I'm talking about it, I feel like I should have mentioned this as number one. One of the most important things in regards to LinkedIn, folks, is you got to think long term. You got to approach LinkedIn with a long term mindset, right? Because I hear this complaint from everyone. Oh, well, Dean, I'm on LinkedIn. I've been reaching out to people. I've been posting that I'm looking for work. I'm not getting any responses, right? And I'm like, okay, so how long have you been active on LinkedIn? Oh, about a week. Folks, a week is not going to cut it. All right, like you got to approach LinkedIn from a long-term mindset. All right, first and foremost, remember, yes, LinkedIn is a professional platform, but remember, the keyword is LinkedIn is a social media platform. Keyword there is social, folks. Like, it is a social media platform. Like, you got to come into LinkedIn with a long-term perspective. Like, nothing is going to happen. You're not going to build connections. You're not going to build trust. You're not going to build visibility and familiarity and credibility. You're not going to be able to build that just based on posting on LinkedIn for like 1 week or a couple of days. And simply not going to happen. I mean, I've been posting on LinkedIn since, like, how long have I been posting stuff on LinkedIn? Like, since 2016. Like, I've been posting consistently on LinkedIn since 2016. That's what's led me into the kind of the presence that I have on LinkedIn right now. And there's people, and by the way, there's people on LinkedIn who have way more followers and way more audience than I do. I think I have around 38,000 followers. And yeah, newsflash, folks, that did not happen overnight. That did not happen within a few days. It did not happen within a few weeks. It happened from me posting consistently and being active on LinkedIn, communicating with people, commenting on people's posts, responding to comments on my posts, posting stuff that is valuable to other people on LinkedIn, like ever since 2016, right? And it's just a long-term play, right? Now, I'm not saying that you have to wait years and years and years in order to get results on LinkedIn. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, don't expect like immediate quick results. You have to be a consistent presence, and you have to be a consistent source of value for people in your network. Like, remember, this is like digital networking, right? And how are you going to position yourself as someone of value to your network? Because you can't just be showing up on LinkedIn when you're looking for something and when you want something from others, folks. That is not the right approach. In fact, the best time to start being active on LinkedIn is actually when you do not need work. That is probably the best time to start, building a presence on LinkedIn. Because if you can build that presence, you can reap some amazing rewards, folks, right? So start, if you haven't done so already, start being active on LinkedIn right now. Like, that is the best time to start being active on LinkedIn is right now. If you haven't done so already, and go in with a long-term mindset, like go in with the mindset that, hey, you know what? I'm going to show up on LinkedIn. I'm not going to expect results like by today or tomorrow or the end of this week. I need to be a consistent presence on LinkedIn. And if you're too shy to post stuff right now, hey, completely fine. At least comment on other people's stuff, right? You got people on LinkedIn that are in your industry and in your field. Maybe they're posting stuff. See if you can interact with people like that. And guess what? The more people see you, the more visible you are, the more they're going to want to engage with you and build those relationships as well, right? And this comes down to like a core principle of networking, right? And I received this advice when I was at a networking event some time ago. It was for this organization, right? And I was thinking about, hey, should I join this? Should I become a member of this organization? And I was asking this other person who was a member of this group. I was like, hey, so you've been a member for a while. Is it worth it? Like, is it worth joining? And what this person told me was such great advice, and it applies to LinkedIn as well. What they told me was this: they're like, Dean, if you're going to evaluate joining this organization or not based on this one networking event you're at, it's not going to happen, right? Because the way you got to look at it is it's a long-term investment. If you want to invest in membership with us, it's a long-term investment, because no one's going to want to do business with you, or going to want to, send you referrals and connect with you. And no one's going to trust you just based on you showing up once. Showing up once at one event is not going to make any difference. What you got to do, Dean, is if you're going to invest in this, if you're going to join this membership, you got to show up at as many events as possible, because what you're going to notice is it's going to be kind of a lot of the same familiar group of people at all of these events. And when that happens, when you do that, you're going to become a familiar face. You're going to be a familiar face. People are going to see you. They're going to be like, oh yeah, I saw this guy at that other event and that other event, and he was at this event, and he was at at all these events. And that familiarity helps build trust, because they see you at all of these multiple events. And look, the long story short here, folks, is the same principle applies to LinkedIn and social media for that matter, right? So if you're only showing up on LinkedIn, you do one post, you're like, hey, LinkedIn network, my name's, I'm looking for blah, blah, blah opportunities. I'm looking for, database administrator opportunities, or I'm looking for project management opportunities right now. I'm on the market. If you have any referrals or anything, let me know, blah, 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 whatever. If you're doing that once and that's it, I mean, that's your contribution to your LinkedIn network. Yeah, there are definitely, folks, look, exception to the rule is there are definitely some posts out there that somehow go viral. I mean, I've seen such simple posts like that with like 20,000 likes or something. That is the exception to the rule, all right? I myself personally, full transparency, I've never had a post of mine go viral. Okay. But what I do know is by being consistent, by being a consistent presence, by really showing up to LinkedIn at least a couple of times a week, it has allowed me to build a following of over 38,000 followers on LinkedIn. Now, I'm not in the market for new job opportunities right now because I'm running my own business and whatnot. But I promise you, if I were to ever be in need of work, I would definitely be able to leverage my following on LinkedIn. I know a lot of you folks out there will help me out because I built trust, I built credibility, and I've been a consistent presence on LinkedIn. Now, you don't have to go crazy as I do on LinkedIn, like posting stuff every day and videos and text posts and this and that and all that stuff. But what you can do is dedicate some time, at least a couple of times a week, to post something on LinkedIn. And when I say post something, not just about you wanting work and stuff, but you sharing your expertise. Because look, ultimately, that's what recruiters want to know, folks. They want to know about your expertise, your knowledge, your experiences, and not just recruiters, but hiring managers as well. And that's really what's going to get their attention, get our attention as well. I've spoken about this in the past, and I've said, look, no employer out there, no hiring manager out there. I have never had a meeting with a hiring manager where they were like, Dean, we want you to help us recruit on this role. We're looking for job seekers. We're looking for people in need of work. I've never heard that from anyone. And that's what a lot of you, what you're doing is on your post, you're simply mentioning your need for a job. What's more attention grabbing is what you bring to the table. What are your skills? What are your knowledge? What is your expertise? I mean, that is the gold, folks. A lot of you are not leveraging that in your LinkedIn post. You should be talking about maybe some interesting challenges that you faced in the past that are work related. Okay, don't violate any non-disclosure agreements. Okay, just a heads up, don't violate any non-disclosure agreements. Not saying that, but talk about projects you've completed. Talk about some interesting challenges that you faced in the past, right? Aside from talking about, hey, I need a job. Talk about some great industries that you worked at and some unique challenges in those industries. Talk about maybe some challenging stakeholders that you worked on, that you worked alongside, and how you helped move the project forward, and therefore sharing some tips with others about how they can do that themselves as well. It's also about giving value, folks, right? It's not just about, what others can do for you. Like if you can push a whole bunch of value out to your LinkedIn network, that'll count for a lot. People will not only see that, hey, wow, this person is, really sharing a lot of great, valuable information and helpful. Not only are you doing that, but they're seeing you as an expert. I guarantee it. If you keep doing it consistently, they're going to start seeing you as an expert. Now, obviously, the stuff you share has to make sense. It has to be practical. It has to obviously make sense. But if you're doing that, and if you are, sharing content that is sharing your expertise based on your experiences, you will establish yourself as an expert. And if you're able to establish yourself as an expert, folks, you're going to get a whole bunch of opportunities. And like I said, right now, I'm running my own business. I'm not looking for opportunities. But folks, every week, I mean, at least a couple of times a week, I get messages and requests from companies looking for recruiters. They're like, Dean, are you on the market for opportunities? Hey, Dean, not sure if you're on the market right now, but we're looking for a blah blah blah. Like I get inbound opportunities. This is how you're able to leverage LinkedIn. And guess what, folks? You don't need to have like over 30,000 or crazy followers like I do in order to start getting those. I started getting those kind of inbound opportunities back when I had like, I think, like, a couple of thousand, only a handful of maybe a couple of thousand followers or something like that. But you gotta be using LinkedIn the right way. You gotta be approaching LinkedIn with the right mindset. So remember, the mindset is a long-term mindset, and you adding value to your network as well. So it's fine if you're going to be posting something about how you're in need for a job and stuff like that. That's fine. Do those. But also, additionally, a couple of times a week, share some of that gold that you have, folks. You got a whole bunch of expertise. You got a whole bunch of knowledge. You're not sharing it. And that is really what's going to, again, get the attention of recruiters and hiring managers out there. Because guess what? They want people with your skills, your expertise, your knowledge, your experiences, and all that stuff. So take advantage of that. All right. So that's that tip. The next thing is, and I already kind of covered this, so the next tip is you got to build trust and familiarity through posting and sharing your own knowledge and expertise and your value and all that stuff. Okay, now some of you might not feel comfortable, posting your own content. Maybe you're a little shy, and maybe you don't want to do videos and all that stuff, and you don't have to, right? Just start with what you're comfortable with. And if you don't want to start posting your own content, simply start interacting with other people's content. That is one of the best ways to increase your visibility. Like when I first got on LinkedIn, and I didn't start posting videos and stuff right away. I did not start posting videos right off the bat. I started posting on LinkedIn back in 2016, and I didn't have the confidence to post videos until maybe 2018. 2018 is when I posted my first video, if I remember correctly. So 2 years, folks. Took me 2 years. All right. So I'm not some magical thing, and most other content creators on LinkedIn will probably agree with me on that. It's not going to happen overnight. Like, you got to build your confidence as well, right? But at the very least, hey, start off with commenting on posts, right? And not just any post, but you got to be very targeted in the post. Like, maybe identify people in your field, in your industry. Maybe someone's posting something about something software development related, and you're a software developer. Hey, comment on that. Share your own thoughts. Share your own expertise. That's going to help you build connections, and it might capture the attention. Who knows? Maybe it might capture the attention of a hiring manager, and they're like, hey, this person seems to know what they're doing. Let me send them a direct message. Let me connect with them. Or maybe you might connect with someone who's a peer, right? And then you and them start chit chatting and networking and all that stuff. And then they might be like, hey, you know what? This person seems like a nice person. They seem like they know their stuff. We're hiring at our organization. Maybe I can refer this person to the position at our company. I mean, who knows, folks, right? I mean, you're not going to be able to take advantage of these situations if you're not putting yourself out there. So the next tip is, you don't want to post your own content. You're not sure what you don't have any ideas. You're not sure what you want to post. Completely fine. At least start with contributing your knowledge and expertise through commenting. All right. So look up posts people posting in your industry, people in your field posting stuff, or even even recruiters. Maybe recruiters are posting something that are related to your field. Comment, share your own thoughts, your own expertise, your own opinion on things. Now, quick, and this is my opinion on this. I personally avoid getting involved in any political or religious related debates on LinkedIn. That's just my thing. I avoid those folks like the plague. I don't get involved in anything political. I don't get involved in anything religious, because I'm on here to connect with IT professionals, and I'm on here to connect with hiring managers looking for IT professionals, and I'm here to connect with job seekers. That's it. I'm very, very focused and targeted. I don't get involved in any emotional, hot, those hot and heated debates and stuff. I steer clear away, way away from that stuff, folks. But that's just me. All right. So maybe your goals are different, but that's my suggestion. All right. We got a comment here. Let's see if we got a comment. Raphael says, excellent. Thanks in advance. Hey, no worries, Raphael. We got Peter in the house. Peter says, what if many of my connections seem better experts than me, and I don't know what to share, which makes sense or seems valuable? Yeah, for sure, Peter. I mean, look, there might be a situation, folks, and this is a great comment, by the way, but there might be a situation where a lot of the people that you're connected with, they might be more of an expert than you are in your field, in your space. And I have people like that in my network as well, right? But the fact is, everyone has a unique perspective, a unique position, and unique experiences, right? So maybe you don't have more knowledge or experience as these other people, Peter, and everyone else out there, but you do have a unique perspective. You do have unique experiences. You probably have an accumulation of projects and a combination of a whole bunch of projects and types of clients and stakeholders and people and involvements and events that you've been involved in that no one else on planet Earth, like, statistically, no one else on planet Earth probably has the exact same experiences and knowledge and viewpoints and perspective. So leverage that, Peter, right? That would be my perspective. Like, if these experts in your space, they're talking about some stuff or they posted some stuff, see how you can share your unique perspective, right? So that would be my suggestion for you, Peter, as well as everyone else who might be in a similar situation. Like, don't get intimidated, folks, by people who might be, more experienced in your space than you. Like, you should still be able to contribute your own experiences and knowledge and stuff like that, right? And at the same time, hey, these people who are who might be more experienced than you, they're always willing to also kind of engage in a discussion with you and share their own thoughts and experiences in exchange for that as well, right? So don't shy away from that. Contribute your own knowledge, contribute your own expertise and your own viewpoints and your perspective based on your experiences and your perspectives that you have experienced, right? So that would be my advice, Peter. By the way, folks, anyone interested in PMO stuff, Peter's very much involved in the PMO industry, and I think I saw you post something about an event that's coming up, Peter. I liked it, but make sure, folks, if you have an interest in PMO stuff, follow Peter. He's very involved in the PMO industry and the PMO space. All right. So thanks so much for your comment, Peter. So that being said, going on to the next thing. Oh, well, actually, that was the last thing. Yeah. So folks, you gotta be a visible individual on LinkedIn. You gotta be visible. You gotta be a familiar face, and you gotta be coming into LinkedIn with that understanding that this is a long-term investment. This is a long-term investment of your time, and it's going to take some effort. And if you're able to put in the time and the effort, if you're willing to put in the time and the effort to be a familiar face, be a hey, maybe even a celebrity brand in your space. If you put in the time and effort, if you're able to make yourself a celebrity in your space, in your industry, in your field, folks, it is ridiculous the amount of inbound opportunities that are going to come your way. All right. Now, I don't claim to be a celebrity in my space whatsoever, but I would say I'm probably one of the most well-known tech recruiters in the Toronto area, right? In the Toronto area here in Canada, and I get inbound opportunities, folks. Right now, I'm not definitely not depending on just these inbound leads and opportunities and referrals. Although I greatly appreciate them, I'm not just dependent on those, but it is definitely a great source of opportunities for me, right? And this very much applies to you if you're a job seeker. You do not need to be a business owner or entrepreneur in order to benefit from LinkedIn. But you do have to put in some time, you do have to put in some effort, and you got to go in with the right mindset, right? So, key takeaways for today. Tip number one, no empty LinkedIn profiles. If you're a job seeker, no excuses, folks. No empty LinkedIn profile. Worst case scenario, you're busy, you don't have time to work on your LinkedIn profile and blah, blah, blah. Fine. Just copy and paste your resume. Literally, you can copy and paste the contents of your resume onto your LinkedIn profile. So no excuses whatsoever for any of you out there that are watching this. Fill in your LinkedIn profile with the details of your professional experience. Tip number two was you got to highlight your skills, right? Your technical, especially for those of you in tech, your technical skills, highlight your skills, highlight the types of projects you worked on, and highlight the types of industries that you've been involved in. Tip number three was, that was tip number two. Tip number three is mindset. You got to think long-term, folks. Don't post on LinkedIn today and expect by the end of the week you're going to get a whole bunch of referrals and connections and stuff like that. It will take time to build that familiarity, build that trust, build that credibility, be a consistent presence on LinkedIn, and offer value. Remember what I said about offering value. Post stuff like share your own experiences, share your own expertise, share your own knowledge, share tips that'll help if you're a business analyst, share tips that's going to help other business analysts. If you're a project manager, share tips that are going to help other project managers. If you're a software developer, post something about a common coding challenge or a common some issue that you experience as a software developer, and share some tips on how they can potentially overcome this. Like, this is going to really get attention of other people in your industry and potentially hiring managers, right? So keep that in mind. And the other tip was, I think it was tip number 4. You gotta build that trust and familiarity through either posting your own content or starting off by simply commenting on other people's posts. And also, another bonus tip that I wanted to share with you folks as well is, you got to expand your network, folks. Don't just expect to be on LinkedIn and think that your network is going to magically expand and people are going to be sending you connection requests. Like, you got to take proactive steps in building up your network as well. When I first started on LinkedIn, like this was back in 2016, I was virtually unknown. Nobody knew me. Nobody knew who Dean was. The tech recruitment industry in Toronto had no idea who Dean was. The tech industry in Toronto had no idea who Dean was. What I did was, every day I set myself a target. Every single day, I'd send out 10 targeted connection requests to people in the tech industry. And I did this every day. And I'd put out a customized message. I'd set aside, I'd set aside like 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that. I used to put this reminder on my calendar every day, right? At like, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock or something. I get this alert, boom, I'll send out 10 connection requests, right? So I'd go on LinkedIn, I'd search like, 10, usually it was IT professionals, candidates, and usually it was people for the positions that I was recruiting on. So let's say, for example, software developers. I'd do a search for software developers. I'd send out 10 targeted LinkedIn connection requests. I'd do a customized message. I say, hey, my name's Dean. I'm a tech recruiter. I recruit in the Toronto area. Came across your profile. I noticed that you're a software developer. That is a space I frequently recruit in. Thought it would be great to connect. Regards, Dean. Send connection request. Boom. That's it. Real simple, folks. Nothing fancy. Nothing. No hanky panky there. Straightforward. I'd send 10 of those every day. And I do that every single day of the week, right? So not everyone would accept the request, of course, but some people would, right? Some people would. And this is how you bit by bit expand your network. And simultaneously, at the same time, you're posting stuff, you're commenting on people's stuff. This bit by bit increases your visibility. People, and you start being a familiar face on LinkedIn, and people start being like, okay, yeah, this person seems like a nice person. Hey, this person seems like they know what they're doing. Oh, look, they're a software developer. Oh, hey, we're recruiting on software developers at our organization. Let me reach out to them, see if they might be interested. And the other thing you folks want to do is, those of you who are job seekers, is also target IT, recruiters as well, right? If you're in IT, you want to target IT recruiters. But whatever your space is, whatever your industry is, target recruiters as well, and send out those connection requests to recruiters as well. So for those of you, so maybe you want to set. So here's a target for you folks. All right, let's do this for homework. And do this, mark this on your calendar every day at whatever time, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever. Set aside, 20 minutes, folks. Everyone's got 20 minutes, okay? It's nothing crazy. 20 minutes, 5 connection requests, 5 targeted connection requests to someone in your field, in your industry. And that includes managers, executives, whatever. Like 5 targeted requests, and then 5 targeted requests to recruiters who recruit in your space, okay? That's my challenge for you folks out there, to start expanding your network. Do a customized message and make it simple, nothing fancy. Hey, my name's so-and-so. I noticed that you're a business analyst, and I'm connecting with other business analysts in the industry as me. Thought it would be great to connect. Regards, your name, whatever. If it's recruiters, just be like, hey, my name is, blah, blah, blah. I'm a software developer. I noticed you're a recruiter. You recruit in the tech space. And hey, maybe I can be a match for one of your clients in the future. Best regards, best whatever, and then your name. Real simple, folks. Okay, there's no astrophysics here, no rocket science to this. The messages are direct, they're transparent, they're straightforward, nothing fancy. Not everyone's going to accept the request, but some of them will. Some of them will, and bit by bit, that's how you're going to expand your network as well, right? So that is my advice to you today on how to more effectively leverage LinkedIn. And if you go in with the right mindset, you take the right levels of action, you invest the time and effort, you will be able to be way more successful on LinkedIn and be maybe a known celebrity in your space. Maybe someday you're going to be like so well known in your space, you don't even have to apply for jobs because you got so many inbound opportunities coming your way, right? So look, hope this session helped, folks. Hit me up with a like and comment if you got value out of today's session. I always appreciate those likes and comments. And now I'm going to get into the Q&A. So any questions you have about today's topic or anything job search related, feel free to drop it in the comments, all right? So let's see. We got Peter in the. So Peter says, online industry or professional events are great spaces to make LinkedIn connections with attendees and presenters as well. Yeah, Peter, I'm glad you reminded me of this. Also, another great avenue to make use of, right? Actually, even those of you like tuning in right now, right? I mean, you folks should be networking with each other in the comments, because who knows, especially those of you in the same country as each other, like you might want to be networking with each other, right? And by the way, don't just discard someone just because they're in a different country. Like I remember again, like when I first started on LinkedIn, like I used to communicate and respond to comments from people all over the world. And I remember I used to have some colleagues. They'd laugh at me and they'd be like, "Dean, why are you wasting time communicating with people in other countries? And ha ha ha, what are you doing, man? You got too much time on your hands." But yeah, what they didn't know is that these people in like China, India, America, Brazil, where else? Where's that other place? Nigeria. What they didn't know, yeah, I was spending my time connecting with these people, and you might be thinking, hey, why would you bother connecting with people in other countries? What these people that were quick to judge didn't know was those people in other countries, they have connections over here in Toronto that I didn't know of, and IT professionals that they were connecting me with, right? That they were connecting me, they were introducing me to people locally here in Toronto that I otherwise might not have even met or connected with. So don't be closed-minded either, folks. Now, of course, you want to make sure that you're connecting with the right people. You got to make sure that these are not like people that are trying to position themselves in such a way, and they're trying to scam you or something. You gotta of course you got to be careful about that stuff. But don't write people off just because they're in a different country. They might have friends, family, and people in the same city as you, and because you built a relationship with them, they feel comfortable introducing you to people that they know in your city. Like, don't be closed-minded, folks. All right. Definitely, I kind of sidetracked there, but definitely, you also want to be involved in, like, just like Peter saying, look into industry events, online events. Like this is such a great thing nowadays with these virtual events. There's so many virtual events going on, way more attendees, way more opportunity for you to connect with and more people, potentially in your industry and in your space. All right. So looks like that's all the questions and comments for today. So look, I hope you folks got a lot of good value out of today's segment. And make sure you mark your calendar every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time zone. I'm going to be right here again, sharing job search tips, advice, and strategies for you folks out there. If there's any particular topics you want me to cover in a future live stream, definitely let me know. Let me know in the comments, or send me a direct message and say, "Hey, Dean, I'd love it if you talk about such and such topic," or "Hey, Dean, I'm myself and a lot of people I know are facing these challenges. Would you talk about this challenge?" Hey, feel free to do that, folks. I love any ideas about these topics, and I'll do my best to cover them on the next segment. All right. And finally, if you want to follow me on any of my other social channels, I'm also active on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, obviously. Where else? TikTok. Where else? Anyway, I can't even, a whole bunch of other platforms. Check out my Linktree page, linktr.ee/DK Tech Recruiter, linktr.ee/DK Tech Recruiter for more information about that. And if you're a job seeker, and if you're struggling with applying for jobs and you're not getting responses, that is your major challenge right now. Feel free to reach out to me for more information about my digital course, Applying to Jobs Online 101, where I teach you how to increase responses to your job applications by up to 20%, and in some cases more, through the use of direct messaging. All right. So check out more information about that as well at dkglobaltalent.com/get responses. Hey, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Everyone have a fantastic week. We still got a few more days left in the week, folks. Keep pushing through. Don't give up. Keep taking action. And I'll see you around next time. All right. Take care, folks. Have a wonderful, amazing day.